In this video, we're going to show you how to install the ABS speed sensor on your Honda Ridgeline located behind your front wheels. Using a 22mm socket, loosen and remove the lug nuts. Once you have the lug nuts removed, go ahead, loosen and remove the wheel, set that aside. Now with the front wheel removed, you can go ahead and locate your ABS speed sensor right here on the back side of the knuckle behind your brake rotor. And the wire runs around the back here, and there's a couple plastic retainers securing this. What I'm going to do is just use a pair of pliers. And I'm just going to pinch the tabs and start to release this. It runs around the back here as well. Now right here, there's a 10mm bolt. We're going to go ahead, loosen and remove this here. Sometimes these break. Ours is a little rusted, so we're going to go ahead and tap this on. Ours is rusted to the point where it's no longer a 10mm, so we're going to use sockets accordingly to go ahead and remove that. Now our sensor follows this wire down inside, and what we want to do is we're going to spray this with some rust penetrant, and we're going to try and loosen this up a little bit so we can go ahead and pull that out. Sometimes you can use a pair of pliers and grab this and gently twist it, and it may start to move. So our sensor broke off, which tends to be typical. All right, our next step is we need to clean this up. Then we're going to drill that out and clean it up to accept the new sensor. Now, if this happened to you, you need to be extremely careful. The reason for that is that this sensor goes down and it picks up its ABS signal through a magnetic pickup on the back of the wheel bearing. Now, if you drill down too far, you can actually nick the backside of the magnetic pickup on the wheel bearing and ruin the wheel bearing. So, steps of caution need to be taken when doing this job. I'm simply starting with a stepper bit to go ahead and do the best I can to locate the center of this here. Then we're going to transition to regular drill bits. Now, as I said, you want to be careful drilling down into this here. So what I do is I went and I grabbed our actual speed sensor here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure down to the point where there's this notch right here. So this flat section is the part that goes up against the magnetic pickup itself. So what I want to do is I'm going to drill down just a little bit beyond that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of tape and mark on my drill bit how far I can go down. Of course, this is just a preliminary, but you can see that the tip comes down just to the point of where it starts to ramp for the hub. That means I won't drill down into the bearing itself or the magnetic pickup. I'm going to transfer this tape line onto another larger bit so we can go in a little bit further with that. So if you follow the harness up and around right here beside our flex hose, This is held into this retainer right here. So I'm just gonna use my pocket screwdriver and press in on the little plastic retainer tabs, pull that off. And if you follow the wire up, it goes to a rubber grommet into the engine compartment. We simply wanna go ahead and pull that out. We're gonna be replacing the rubber grommet and everything with that wire. So I'm gonna pry it and pull it out. Now let's go to the inside the engine compartment and we'll disconnect it from in there. Now open the engine compartment, you're gonna locate the orange connector on the passenger side compartment. It's underneath the fuse box, down diagonal, more so underneath the AC line. You're gonna pinch the connector and pull it towards you to separate that. Once that's disconnected, I'm gonna go into the wheel well area. I'm gonna pull this through. And I'm going to take the new harness, take our new harness, push that connector in. And you don't have to at this point, but I'm gonna try to install that rubber grommet. Go back up into the engine bay and reach down, grab that connector. And then reconnect or connect the new harness. Line up that connector, push it in and pinch it together. You're gonna feel it in, hear it snap on. Just give it a little tug, make sure it's secured. So that is now connected up top. Let's go ahead and install the rest of the harness down below. Let's go ahead and install our connector right here. Just push that in, make sure that's secured. I'm gonna run the rest of our harness up and around. We have our gray connector here. We're going to install on the back side of the strut. So we'll run our harness around. Install the retainer right here. Install your ABS sensor. I just sourced a replacement bolt, still a 10 millimeter. You can use the original bolt if it did not break off like ours did. Now we'll go ahead and snug that down. Once that bolt bottoms out like ours did, just snug it gently, not even a full quarter turn. You just want to make sure that it's snug. Make sure all your retainers are secure. Now that your sensor is secure, if you do have any ABS lights on the dash, you want to go ahead and clear those codes, install your wheel, and you can go ahead and go for a road test. We are going to finish removing the rest of our old wire here. Go ahead and grab your wheel. Get that lined up. We'll install our lug nuts, get them all started by hand. Once we get all these started, we go ahead and snug them down. Now you want to go ahead and torque down your lug nuts to 94 foot-pounds. When doing this, you want to do a crisscross or star pattern. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.